Hey, this is Daniel Norton. I'm here in my studio in New York City with Paulina.
Hi.
And we're going to shoot kind of a fun fashion look today.
Yeah, disco.
Little disco fashion action, right? But what I really want to talk about while we're creating this shot is using kind of zones in your set to light. So instead of just throwing a big light up, which is oftentimes what we do when we're just starting, especially one big huge source, it looks good, it lights everything up, it's really good. We're going to talk about kind of separating things, because as you get into more commercial type work, you're going to want to be able to control your set better. You know, you may want exacting light on different parts of your set, so we're going to use, I find the more I shoot, the smaller the light sources are that I use, which might seem the opposite of what people would think, but that gives you a lot more control. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to light up the set, and we're going to create some fun pictures. So I made a diagram, because, you know, I have a degree in art, pretty good, right? So basically this is our setup here. This little star is you, or a star, right? So we have a little star, that's where Paulina is. She's essentially on this runway of gray paper that we set up, which I'm gonna use for depth. We'll talk about that as we start shooting it. And what I'm doing is I'm lighting the background actually with an HMI. I have a Dedolight HMI, and in that HMI, it's fitted with a projector. In that HMI, I have a glass gobo, basically. It's gonna, I've used these before. Basically, it's gonna throw a pattern, but it's also gonna be color and in texture. It's really interesting, and you can put them in and out of focus and play around with them. In this case, I chose this kind of red yellowy one because I thought it worked well with the outfit, with the sparkles. And that's just hitting the background. So that's a constant light source, so we're gonna have to deal with that in a second. Over here, to camera left, I've got a Profoto B2 pack with 2 heads, and I've actually got 2 strip boxes. Now the reason why I'm using 2 1x3 strips is because generally, when you use a larger strip, you know, you may want to control the power up and down. Like I might want brighter on her face or darker on the outfit as I'm shooting throughout the day. Let's say if I'm doing fashion or something, you know, she might have white pants on, let's say in a dark top or something to that. So I like to do this versus getting one long one. It just works better for me. It's a good way to work. If you only have one head and you want to use one single box, you can certainly do that. Although oftentimes the longer ones, the 6-foot ones, are usually 2 feet wide, which means that you might want to put a grid on it for control. Speaking of a grid, to kind of give her more versatility and ability to move, I've got a beauty dish up here with a grid on it. That's just to punch some light on the front of her into her face so she doesn't have to work towards this light the whole day long, right? This is to give her a nice silhouette. This right here is to light her face. So if she works this way, she's fine, but if she works more straight, she's lit here, and even if she turns more to the side, she'll be fine. The other thing I've added for a little bit of contrast is a black card on this side. That's there for 2 reasons. One is that the sun keeps coming in and out because I'm in a daylight studio, so I want to make sure we don't have the sun hit, which we'll talk about more in a minute. The other reason for that is because when you're wearing something that's reflective, like this has shine in it, if you put black there, it will reflect the black and actually add contrast. So it's kind of a nice way to work. So I'm gonna set up all these lights, I'll show you where they all are, and let's go for it, right? So TTL is wonderful, you see me use it all the time, but for this kind of thing, I like to use a light meter. I'm using the Sekonic here, the 858, and I'll do the background last. So I'll start with her. I know we wanna shoot at f4, and the sync speed of my camera is like 1/160th of a second. So I'm gonna set my meter at 100 ISO, 1/160th of a second, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the light. I'm just using my other Profoto remote here. I'm going to do one at a time. So I will do the I'll do the beauty dish first. I want to put the beauty dish right at f4 to start with anyways. So I'm going to meter it, essentially pointing it at the light. Okay, we're a little down, so I'm going to bring it up a tiny bit. Okay, we're getting 4.1 actually. I'm actually gonna go down one more from that because I probably want this to be a tiny bit duller. I don't want it to look like she's overly lit. So that's that one. Then I'm gonna come around to this side. I'm switch to my C group, which is this light over here. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Some people will turn this one off and then do this one. That's important if they're touching each other, but I'm gonna meter down below, so I'm not gonna worry about that. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna leave all the lights on and I'm gonna close, this meter has this thing where I can close this, this part of it. That will keep that light off of it. I'm just gonna go like this. In this case, I have them the same, right? I have my 2 heads set the same in the boxes, so it's easy enough to do. I'm gonna bring this one up a smidge as well. That's too much. Perfect. 4.01 again. So this will be a smidge brighter than that exposure-wise. Now, the final thing I'm gonna do is the background. What's kind of neat about this meter is it has a mode that I can go into my my constant light mode, and I can actually put in not just the the shutter speed like you normally would do in an old-fashioned meter. I could put in the f-stop and the ISO, and when I put this against the background and I make a reading, it tells me a quarter of a second. It's telling me a quarter of a second will give me that exposure. So we should be good. Let's try. I mean, keep in mind that your meter is giving you what it thinks is the right exposure to get the saturation, et cetera, that you want. We're probably going to go a little bit darker than that. The other thing we're going to do to make it a little bit darker is I'm going to actually turn off these overheads now. So I had these on so you guys could see me. Whenever you're using like a constant light source, you'd want to try to kill as much light in the space as possible. So we're going to just kill those for now. So here we are. I'll get my Nikon here, and I'm going to set this guy up. Good. Let's see where we're at. So I'm here on a tripod, and I'm gonna get in a little bit close. Part of the reason for that is I want to kind of elongate my space. Remember, the further back you are, the more it compresses the space. So I'm elongating my space by getting in closer to her. I'm also slightly tipped down. Again, I'm trying to exaggerate the space slightly for that reason. So I'm gonna come up on the tripod. It's good. You're good there. Let me get a focus on you. I am set at f4. I am at, we'll start at a quarter of a second, and we're gonna adjust our shutter speed as we go. So I'm gonna start at a quarter, because that's what the meter tells me to do. I'm tethered in the capture one. We'll take a shot. And, well, I guess we should listen to light meters, right? Because that's pretty darn good, right? That's a pretty good exposure right there. She looks well lit, right? Even though I'm at a quarter of a second, she's nice and sharp because none of the ambient light's really hitting her, right? And we've got kind of a nice look going on. I like that. If we want to make the background a little bit darker, which I kind of thought I was going to, so I'll stick with my original plan, I'm going to go up to, I'll add one stop, so I'm at 1/8 of a second. And again, I'm not doing that because I'm worried about her moving. I'm doing it for contrast in the background, how bright or dark I want the background to be. So that's just adjusting my background. Because remember, when you adjust your shutter speed in this situation, it's only affecting the constant lights. So good, like that. Ready? Good. So we're in tremendously low light here, so I'm kind of shooting slower to make sure I nail my focus each time with the Nikon. Although, wow, these new cameras have great autofocus. Okay, so we'll come in here, and I'm focused just on her eyes. I mean, I'm f4, so she's gonna be sharp all over. But we can see now that she has this nice kind of glow on the outfit, right? And then on this side, she's got a little bit more darkness because I have that black card over there. And her face again is lit very nicely. She has light coming from this side, which gives her this nice strip. It kind of just adds some balance and contrast. So let's shoot a few more like this. Good. Good, like that. Now this can work for anything. Like you don't, if you're in, let's say, a bar, or you're doing a scene in a bar or something. I don't know, I'm in a bar first thing in the morning, but we're in a bar, right? And we want to light, let's say, the background a different way. You certainly can do that. The idea here is that none of our lights are touching each other. None of that light from the flash is hitting the background, and none of the light from the constant light is hitting her. So basically, we've got two different zones, and we're able to create our images however we want. Good. And I left a dead spot in the middle. I did that on purpose. Obviously, you could light that as well if you really wanted to get crazy. Let's do one more, straight on the camera, powerful, that's it, good. Good, hold, focusing. There we go. Now, I think one thing I'll do just for experimentation, even though I think this is perfect. It's too bad when you get it too quickly, right? When we do it too fast, it's like, I'm gonna actually go to a much slower shutter, because I'm just curious. I'm gonna go to 1 second. Now at 1 second, some of this ambient light that's in the room in general, even though it looks dark in here, is probably gonna affect her, but let's see. Good, hold. Focusing, I'll get a nice focus. She's gonna hold still because it's 1 second. Good. Nice. Oh wow, now we have like an electric color. So remember, if you want, it's all about exposure. Oh, you look like you were trying to hold still, which is fine. But that's it, right? We can control that basically with our shutter speed, and you see that the light on her really didn't change much. It changed a little bit because again, some of the ambient's bleeding in. Let's try somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna go back to a quarter, which is what is recommended by the flash meter, the light meter rather. And let's do one more like that. Good, one more. Whenever a photographer says one more, it always means two more. We know that by now. And it's a nice, beautiful shot, balanced out. Nice light on her, nice light on the background. Cool kind of scene going on. I'm gonna come in a little closer for a couple. I'm just gonna zoom. I'm not gonna actually physically move. Remember, if I move, it's going to change the compression. I don't want to change the compression, so I'm just going to zoom my lens. That's one reason why I use the zoom lens. I guess I should also mention that, good like that, hold, focusing, good. Then I threw a couple more V-flats in the back for effect, you know, just to see the light bounce around because of how we're angled. You know what I wouldn't mind doing here actually too? So stay there for a second. So what I'm doing is I'm noticing now that background's getting a little more out of focus. It's not enough out of focus because I'm at f4, right? Enough, you know, what's enough, right? So I can actually go to my projector and I can actually change the focus. I'm gonna knock it really out to get a totally different look. You know, I want to shoot at f4 to get enough focus on her, but I want that super blurry background look. So I'm just gonna come in here and bang that out like that. Now we've got ultra out of focus background. See if you can work your face slightly this way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like a more beauty dish on it. I'm using white beauty dish, by the way, guys, to lower the contrast a little bit. I know I usually use silver, so I get that question a lot. This one is white. It does have a grid on it though. So it's lowering the highlight contrast because it's less specular, but because it has a grid on it, I'm getting more shadow contrast. Good. Yeah, that's okay. That was all right. We'll do one more though. That was pretty. Yeah, it took forever to that's like Daniel talking about lighting instead of taking a picture. Right? Yeah. So you see it's beautiful, nice light on her. The background's all blurry, like people like. Let's do one horizontally because, you know, we love horizontal shots. Daniel likes a good horizontal. I'm gonna go like this. Okay, changing my focus point. Here we go. Good. One more. Check that. Oh yeah, I like horizontal. Oh, that's actually really nice. Oh, see, I do like horizontals. See what happens? All right, we're doing a horizontal shot. We're in it. We're in it to win it. That's perfect. I'm gonna pull back a tiny bit to get a little more in the frame, because I like that. And here we go, focusing. Again, I'm just focusing on her eyes, guys. I'm at, you know, quarter of a second at f4. Lots of 4s going on. 4 is a lucky number today. And hold, good. More, beautiful. Good. Yeah, this is nice. I am curious if we bring down that top light a bit. I'm just gonna come in and bring the beauty dish down just a couple of tenths. Just curious. I think the exposure looks good, but sometimes it's good to mess around a bit. Let's see. Good, good. There we go. Eyes at me. Yeah, that's nice. We'll get to where your hand's not kind of nodding position. Yeah, right there's good. Good. Yeah, beautiful. One more. Last one. Good. Wow, that's nice. That's really cool. And I like how the light, I actually have it kind of zoomed, the focused on the background, guys. So you can see that I'm getting kind of almost like a vignette back there too. So we're getting all kinds of cool stuff. We got blurry background, we got vignette. We're just like all kinds of fun stuff today. But that's the thing, because the background is lit and exposed completely separately than my foreground light, I was able to make changes as we went and it didn't affect the light on her. The light on her is gonna be consistent throughout the entire shoot, which is what we want when we're making a portrait or fashion or whatever we're doing. And that's gonna give us total control, right? This is all about control when you're lighting and you're on projects. That's what you're doing it for. You're not, you know, you're lighting it to make it pretty, yes, but you can find pretty light. Well, the reason why you're lighting is because you want control, and that's what we're doing here, controlling it in zones. So I will put Pauline's information in the description so you guys can follow her. Be sure to follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer, and of course subscribe to Adorama TV, ring the bell and all that, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
On set.